हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री दुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धेर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। Bhagwan reveals his nature in the 7th chapter of Gita. Bhagwan says, all this that you see, this entire Jagat with all the jivas are all expressions of my Prakriti, the Para and Apara Prakriti. Through this twofold Prakriti alone, Bhagwan appears as manifested. So this Prakriti, which is also called Maya, Bhagwan says it's very difficult to transcend. So one gets totally overpowered by this Maya and fails to recognize that Ishvara. Bhagwan says that 4 types of devotees, they surrender to me: Artha, Jidnyasu, Artharthi and Jnani. Out of them, Jnani Bhakta is the best. So one should gain this knowledge of Ishvara and surrender. Then we will become free of all our bondage, all our sorrow. But why people don't surrender to Ishvara? Bhagwan says because of their kamana. Lot of desires are there and they want immediate fulfillment of these desires. And in order to fulfill those desires, they approach the different devatas. So kama istaiste ritatjnanaha prapadyante anya devataha. And they follow the respective disciplines of those devatas. And with faith, when they constantly worship these devatas, their faith also becomes more and more strong, and they continue with their worship of these devatas and continue to fulfill their desires. But Bhagwan says that their desires are also fulfilled by me only through those devatas. But when one is involved in fulfilling desires through those devatas, whatever one desires and whatever one gets out of the fulfillment of the desires, the results are antavantaha. They come to an end. Antavattu phalam tesham. The result come to an end. It is never lasting. So after the result comes to an end, again one desires something more, something different. So one gets caught up in samsara only. So whether a person is caught up in the worldly activities or a person is caught up in religious activities, both are in samsara only. Bhagwan says that these people are alpamedasam. They are of little intellect, little understanding, because they are putting forth effort to acquire the little things of this world. If the same effort is put forth to surrender to me, they will attain infinity. Bhagwan says, Devan Devayajo Yanti. One who is Devayajaha, one who worships the Devatas with Sakam Bhavana. If we worship the Devatas with Nishkam Bhavana, without desires, dedicating our actions to Ishvara, then we will progress on our spiritual path. But if we worship them with Sakam Bhavana, in order to fulfill some desires, then we will get stuck in this samsara. So Bhagwan says, Devan Devayajo Yanti. They go to the Devatas, those who worship the Devatas. They get the result as per the power of those Devatas. But Mad Bhakta, but on the other hand, those who are devoted to me, those who are devoted to Ishvara. Devoted to Ishvara means devoted to that Nirgun Nirakar Ishvara or Sagun Sakar Ishvara as Hiranyagarbha. Sagun Nirakar Ishvara as Hiranyagarbha or Sagun Sakar Ishvara as Vaishvanara. See this Ishvara alone as Hiranyagarbha as Vaishvanara expressed as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So one who is dedicated to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh or the Shakti of Bhagwan. So Bhagwan expressing in the fivefold form, as I had mentioned before also, the Panchayatana, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Shakti and Ganesha. So one who worships Bhagwan as Sagun, Sagun Sakar, or one worships Bhagwan as Nirgun Nirakar, they attain the Supreme. So Mad Bhakta Yanti Mam Api. But people don't surrender to me. One reason Bhagwan has given, same reason, because of lot of kamana, because of not proper understanding, they don't surrender to that Ishvara. So, what misunderstanding they have about Ishvara and what is the supreme nature of that Ishvara, that is now revealed in the next verse by Bhagwan himself, verse number 24. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mama Buddhayah Param Bhavamajanantah Mamavyayamanutamam. Bhagwan says that Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mam Abuddhayah. That those who are Abuddhayah, those who don't have proper buddhi, those who don't have that power of discrimination, those who have not done satsang. See, without satsang, we don't get this buddhi. Binu satsanga viveka na hoi. Ram kripa binu sulabha na soi. The proper understanding of Ishvara we come to understand through constant satsang. When we listen to the scriptures from different Mahatmas, we keep on listening and contemplating, then slowly and steadily we come to understand the glory of Ishvara. This understanding starts sinking deeper into our system, because we are totally engrossed in this world, and our way of looking at this world has become more and more materialistic. And with this modern education and modern influence, we are looking at this world more and more as matter. But the whole world is expression of Ishvara. The whole world is alive. The whole world is a living being. The whole world is Sagun Sakar Ishvara. But we look at it as a matter or have some limited vision about it. All this are because of abuddhi, not understanding properly. So Bhagwan says, Mam abuddhayah avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante. So though Bhagwan is manifested as this world, Bhagwan is manifested as Hiranyagarbha, as Vaishvanara, as all the devatas, as all other beings, including the human beings. But all this manifestation is through Bhagwan's Shakti called Maya. Means Bhagwan has not actually become the world, but appears like the world. Means without his nature undergoing any modification, any change, Bhagwan appears like the world. That is the power of Bhagwan's Maya. Just like in a mirror, we see different objects in the mirror. We see different colors reflected in the mirror. We see different movements also in the mirror. But if you look at the nature of the mirror, it is not undergoing any change. It is not undergoing any modification. It is absolutely as it is. So without any change or modification, the mirror shows us the variety of forms. In the same way, Ishvara, that is, that Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, itself is called Ishvara, with his own Maya Shakti, appears like this world. But by his own nature, how is that Ishvara? Avyaktam. Avyaktam means unmanifest. Ishvara is always unmanifest, never becomes an object of the senses, never becomes an object of the mind, never becomes an object of the intellect, is totally avishayah, means non-objective, supreme, that unmanifest, supreme reality. And due to this Maya, Bhagwan appears Vyakta. So not knowing this Bhagwan's Maya Shakti, person seeing Bhagwan's avatar as Krishna, Bhagwan is saying that they think that I was not there before and I have manifested now. Avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyante. Or looking at this manifested nature of this world, they consider that itself as the supreme without understanding that nature of that supreme reality beyond this manifested world. So avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayaha. What is seen itself is taken as real without understanding my supreme transcendental nature. So avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayaha. So they are attracted towards the manifested world and interested in the manifested results only, and not understanding that unmanifested supreme reality. Bhagwan says, Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. My Param Bhava, my supreme transcendental existence. Ajanantaha, not knowing. They are attracted only to the outer names and forms. Means they get stuck, they get attracted by my Maya and get more and more bound in this world itself without understanding the beauty, my nature, which is transcending everything. In Purusha Suktam also it is said, Etavanasya mahima ato jaya gascha purushaha, that all that we see in this world is just a mahima of that supreme reality. But that supreme is transcending this whole world. So not understanding my transcendental nature and not understanding that this manifestation is through my Maya Shakti, people get confused, get deluded, and they don't surrender to me. They don't, have that devotion towards me. So, Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. And what is Bhagwan's Param Bhava? Mama Avyayam Anuttamam. That I am Avyaya. Avyaya means free from all change. There is no change, no modification happening in me. Anuttamam, I am the Supreme. There is nothing greater than me. There is nothing superior to me. I am that supreme, transcendental reality, non-changing. That is my real nature. And all this which you see is expression of my Maya Shakti. And Bhagwan's Maya Shakti is such that if we try to catch it, nothing comes in our hand. In Dakshinamurti Stotram, very beautifully it is said, Maya kalpita desha kala kalana vaichitra chitre kritam. This whole world is expression of this Maya. That Maya itself creates the desha and kala, time and space. And through this play of time and space, it creates this fantastic world in front of us. And we get attracted towards this. So much so that we get totally engrossed in catching hold of this world, and in that bargain, we fail to recognize that Mayapati, that supreme reality who is beyond this Maya. See here, we go back a little bit to the shloka where Bhagwan talked about his Maya. Bhagwan says that Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Those who surrender to me alone will be able to transcend Maya. Otherwise, we are caught up in Maya. Again, to go back, this Atma and this Sharir which we have, the Sukshma Sharir, is Anadi. Anadi, I am associated with from beginningless time, I am associated with my Sukshma Sharir. But because of not knowing, I identify with this Sukshma Sharir. That is what is called Adhyasa. The nature of Sukshma Sharir is superimposed on myself, and some qualities of myself I superimpose on the Sukshma Sharir, so there is total confusion happens. So when I get proper understanding, when I do the Viveka, when I separate this Atma and that Anatma, when I separate Kshetra and Kshetrajna, then I can understand that I am the Kshetrajna and this is all Kshetra. But even with this understanding of myself as that Atma and this my body as this world is something which I see, which I experience, that is not the end of my journey. I have to transcend this Maya and experience my oneness with that Ishvara. I should not only know that I, the Atma, is one with Ishvara, I should also know that this world is one with Ishvara. I have to transcend this Maya. That transcending Maya happens through Sharanagati, means through deep understanding. I have to surrender to that Supreme Self, to that Supreme Brahma. But at this stage also, one gets totally attracted, fascinated by this Maya and fail to surrender to that Ishvara, fail to recognize that transcendental nature of Ishvara. Bhagavan says, I am Avyakta, I am Avyayam, free from all modification, all changes. That is my Param Bhava, that is my supreme nature. This is also my nature. What you see is also because of my nature, that Maya. But beyond this is my supreme nature, Param Bhavam. That Param Bhava, when we recognize, when we surrender to that supreme Brahma, when we surrender to Bhagavan's that supreme transcendental nature, then only we will be able to transcend Maya. Otherwise, again we are stuck in this Maya Jal. So, avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mama buddhayaha param bhavam ajanantaha mama avyayam anuttamam. So, why one doesn't recognize that Bhagavan, what is coming in between, that Bhagavan now tells. Again, he had said it before also. Bhagavan says in the next verse, Naham prakashas sarvasya yogamaya samavratah Mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mamajamavyayam. Bhagavan says कि ना अहम प्रकाशः सर्वस्य. For all, I am what you call, for everyone, aham na prakashah, I am not manifest, I am not recognized. Na aham prakasha sarva lokasya keshanchit eva mad bhaktanam prakasha aham iti abhiprayah. Here Shankaracharya ji says that Bhagavan remains hidden from everyone except from his devotees. Eva mad bhaktanam prakashah aham iti abhiprayah. Bhagavan is manifest. Bhagavan is revealed to his devotees. See, in Ramayana also that famous chaupai is there, कि हरि व्यापक सर्वत्र समाना प्रेम ते प्रगट होई मैं जाना. Bhagavan is व्यापक सर्वत्र समान. He is available everywhere. He is present everywhere. मया ततमिदं सर्वं जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना. Bhagavan is present everywhere, but avyakta. Avyakta means unmanifest. Avyakta means hidden. Avyakta means not available. But not to all. Bhagavan is available to his devotees. Premate pragata hoi mai jana. When we have that proper understanding and proper that love, then we will be able to recognize Ishvara even when the Maya is seen everywhere expression of Bhagwan as Maya is seen, we will be able to recognize Ishvara beyond this Maya. There is a very beautiful incident in about Bhagwan's avatar as Narsimha in Bhagavad. I had mentioned this before also, that Bhakta Prahlad, the great devotee of Bhagwan, he could see Bhagwan everywhere, in everything. For Bhakta Prahlad, Bhagwan was not a unknown, unavailable reality. Bhagwan was very much there, present, constantly available. He could see with the eye of his antakarana, of his hriday, with the eye of his heart. He could see that presence of Ishvara, not with this physical eye, not with the eye of the buddhi, eye of that heart. So he could see the presence of Ishvara everywhere. And he tried to tell this to his father, Hiranyakashipu. But father was utterly materialistic person. He could see the whole world as an ignorant person sees the world. For him, Ishvara was not a reality. But Bhakta Prahlad said, Bhagwan is available everywhere. He is present everywhere. So his father asked him that is he present in this pillar? He said yes. He is present in the pillar also. Unfortunately, you are not able to see him, but I can see him. I know his presence. So father got really angry and he kicked that pillar, and that pillar broke into two pieces, and from that pillar Bhagwan manifested as Narsimha. And then he caught hold of that Hiranyakashipu and killed him. So Bhagwan's presence is there everywhere, but to see him we require the vision of a devotee, of a bhakta. A bhakta is one who can see beyond the Maya. See, like the mother during this holy season and all, the children, they play with different types of colors. And they make themselves so dirty with all different colors that very difficult to recognize them. But the mother sees them, sees her child, and she recognizes her child and takes him, gives him nice bath, and brings him back in his original form. Similarly, the devotees of Ishvara can see him through the colors of Maya. Sattvagun is white color, Rajogun is red color, Tamogun is black color. If you mix them, the black color and red color will dominate, and we will not be able to see what is beyond that color. But a devotee can see. So Bhagwan says, Na aham prakashah sarvasya. I am not prakasha, I am not available, I am not manifest, I am not recognized by all. All means except the devotees. Why Bhagwan is not recognized? Yoga Maya Samavritaha. Bhagwan says, I am covered as though by my Yoga Maya, by my Maya. I am covered by my Maya. Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya means when all the gunas are in equilibrium in Ishvara, all the gunas are in equilibrium and all the gunas are absorbed, and Ishvara remains as Ishvara, untouched by those gunas. Means there is no, in Ishvara's supreme bhava, there is no division of Maya and Ishvara. It's one only. Just like in a solid piece of gold, there is no division of ornaments in that gold. Everything is gold only. From that gold piece, when it becomes manifest, you can see the different ornaments. But when all the ornaments are melted, then it remains just as gold. So similarly, Ishvara in his Param Bhava is that pure Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. His Maya and everything is one with him. But when he expresses as this world, that Maya gets distinguished into 8 parts first, Apara Prakriti, and then Para Prakriti, and all the manifestation as Hiranyagarbha, Vaishvanara, Devatas, and all the beings. So Bhagavan says, in my supreme nature, this Yoga Maya is as though covering me. Yogo Gunanam Yuktihi Gatanam Sa Eva Maya Yoga Maya Taya Yoga Maya Samavritaha Satchannaha Ityartha. So for an ignorant person, for those who are not devoted to Ishvara, Ishvara appears hidden behind his Maya. Mudhoyam na abhijanati. Therefore, a mudha person, a foolish, ignorant person, na abhijanati. They are unable to recognize Ishvara. Mudhoyam na abhijanati. Lokaha, this loka, mam ajam avyayam. They are unable to recognize me as ajam, as unborn. But Bhagavan is born as avatar and all. He appears to be born due to his Maya. But in his real transcendental nature, Bhagavan is always unborn. Though appears to be born, he is unborn. Though appears to be changing, he is unchanging. Avyayam, ajam, avyayam. That is the nature of Ishvara. And that is the nature of our own Supreme Self. Ishvara is our own Supreme Self. We experience Ishvara as our own self. Ishvara is not a theory, not a concept, not an idea, not a philosophy. Ishvara is our own self, a fact. But due to this Maya, remains hidden. So mam ajam avyayam mudhaha, a foolish person, na abhijanati, fails to recognize that Ishvara. So here, through this bhakti, which is nothing but that nididhyasan, which is nothing but Sharanagati. So Param Bhakti, Sharanagati, Nididhyasan, Jnana Nishtha are all same. Through that we have to transcend this Maya and gain our oneness, experience our oneness with Ishvara. Become God realized person. See, with our Vidya, we first become free of our adhyas. But through Niridhyasan, through Saranagati, we have to transcend this Maya and gain our oneness with Ishvara. That is the main important thing. So, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavritaha Modhoyam Na Abhijanati Loko Mam Ajam Avyayam. So, this world don't recognize me because of their foolishness that I am Ajam, unborn, Avyayam, unchanging. That is Bhagwan's transcendental nature. But in order to gain that, in order to recognize that, we start with Bhagwan's manifested form. We do Sagun Upasana, Sagun Sakar Upasana, Sagun Nirakar Upasana. Those upasanas are also of Ishvara only. With that understanding, when we do these upasanas, our mind becomes more and more tuned to Ishvara, and we will be able to transcend all forms and become one with that nameless, formless, supreme Brahma. Okay. So here Shankaracharya ji, he writes in his commentary कि यया योग मायया समावृतम माम लोको न अभिजानाति न असो योग माया मदीया सती मम ईश्वरस्य माया विनः ज्ञानम प्रतिबध्नाति. That though these people don't recognize me, Bhagavan says, because of this Maya, but this Maya doesn't delude me. This Maya doesn't cover me. I am not confused. I am not affected by this Maya. Shankaracharya writes, just like the magician in this world. So magicians show some magic, and those audience, when they look at this magic, they are wonderstruck. They are amazed to see this magic. Actually, some of these magicians, they are so amazing. It appears as though they are having some divine powers only. Such fantastic magic they show. So people get thoroughly affected by that magic. But that magician himself is unaffected because he knows his own magic. Similarly, this Maya is a fantastic, most amazing magic power of Ishvara. Magical power of Ishvara. But he himself is not affected by his own magic. So therefore, in the next verse, Bhagavan says that I know everything. I know all the beings, I know all this world. Everything is known to me. I am not affected by my own Maya. He says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Bhagavan says that Veda aham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Hey Arjuna, that aham Veda, I know. What do you know? Samatitani Vartamanani bhavishyani cha bhutani. Bhagavan says, I know bhutani, all beings. I know all beings. They don't know me, but I know them. I know all beings. Just like an invisible person, let us say, is able to see everyone, but others fail to see that person, are unable to see that person. Similarly, here Bhagavan says, I know everyone. Who everyone? He says, Samatitani, all those beings who were there in the past. From the beginningless past, all beings I know. I know their mind, I know their intellect, I know their ahankar, I know their body. I know all those beings of the past. But what about the present? Bhagavan says, Vartamanani. All the beings of the present also I know. Bhagavan knows everyone. It is very difficult to comprehend that but Bhagavan is all knowing, Sarvajna. He knows each and everyone. He knows even a tiny little ant. He knows everything and everyone. Vartamanani. Bhagavan is Sarvajna and Sarvavita. He knows everyone in general and he knows everything and everyone in particular also. Everything. There is nothing which is not known by Ishvara. And there is no one who is not known by Ishvara. So Samatitani Vartamani. What about the future? What about those beings who will come in future? Bhagavan says, I know them also. What are the modifications which will happen and what changes will happen in future and what beings transformation will happen? Everything I know. Bhavishyani cha bhutani. I know them in future. It's very interesting and very beautiful. So all of us, we should know that Bhagavan knows us. Even if we are sitting away alone somewhere, Bhagavan knows. Even when we are thinking something, Bhagavan knows. Feeling something, Bhagavan knows. He knows everything and everyone. There's a very famous story is there, you must have heard, that a teacher, guru, he had some disciples in his ashram. So he taught them Bhagavad Gita. Then he wanted to take a test them. So he gave about, let us say, some 10-20 disciples were there. So he gave them, each one of them, an apple. And he said, you have to eat this apple. But you should eat it in such a way that nobody should be watching you. You should not have any witness watching you eating this apple. That is your test. You can go anywhere, you can hide anywhere and eat it, but nobody should be seeing you eating it. So the disciples were very happy with the test. So they took the apple and they started going in different directions, hiding from each other. Somebody went on top of the tree and he saw nobody is looking at him and he ate the apple. Another fellow went on top of the mountain Then he saw around, looked around, nobody was watching, so he ate the apple. One fellow entered a cave, sat there and ate the apple. So afterwards, in the evening, the Guru called all of them and asked them, "Did you eat the apple?" Everyone said, "Yes, we ate the apple." Nobody was watching. He said, "No, nobody was watching. We were very careful. We ate." But one disciple had not eaten. So Guru asked him, "What happened? You didn't eat the apple? You didn't try?" He said, "I tried. Wherever I went and tried to eat the apple, I came to know that Bhagwan is watching me. Bhagwan is always there, watching me. So you said nobody should be watching me. But I could not eat this apple. Even in the darkest cave, Bhagwan was watching me. Even on top of the mountain, he was watching me. Even when I closed my own eyes, he was watching me. So I couldn't eat the apple." And the Guru was very happy with him. He said, "Yes, you have understood my teaching well. Bhagwan knows everything. So Vedaham Samatitani, we cannot hide anything from Ishvara. He knows all the beings of the past, the present and future. So Vedaham Samatitani Vartamanani Charjuna Bhavishyani cha Bhutani, but Mam tu Vedana Kaschana. But no one knows me. No one knows me means except my devotees. Shankaracharya ji again writes in his commentary, no one means what? He says, Mad bhaktam mad sharanam ekam muktva mad tattva vedana bhavat eva namam bhajate. That except those who have recognized me, those who have surrendered to me, mad bhaktam, those who are devoted to me, Mad Bhaktam, those who are devoted to me. Mad Sharanam, those who have surrendered to me. Mad Tattva Veda means one who has understood my Tattva. They know me. And other than them, nobody knows me. Namam bhajate. Therefore they don't worship me. They don't surrender to me. They don't recognize me. So Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So with love, with devotion, with proper dedication, we will be able to see God, realize God, experience God directly. So that love for Bhagwan is very important. After gaining proper understanding, we should develop that pure love for Ishvara. Okay? Today is a very beautiful day. Because of Bhagwan's blessings only, we are able to sit here and study this Bhagavad Gita. That supreme reality, Brahma, Ishvara himself manifested through his own Maya as Krishna 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan, in Mathura. 5,000 years ago. 5,000 is not much compared to the eternity. 5,000 years are not many years before. Because the next avatar of Bhagwan will happen after many years. More than 4 lakh years are there for the Kalki avatar to take place. So this Bhagwan Krishna avatar was not very far back. The effect of Bhagwan's avatar is experienced even now. The most amazing, we are studying and listening to the words uttered by Bhagwan Krishna himself. So most fascinating. So today is Bhagwan Shri Krishna Jayanti, Janmashtami, Krishna Janmashtami. He was born on Ashtami at midnight. See, Bhagwan Shri Ram is also avatar of that Brahma. Shri Ram was born at midday in the afternoon. And Bhagwan Krishna was born at midnight. So, today we remember Bhagwan Krishna and offer our sincere love and gratitude and pray to Bhagwan that may his blessings be always upon us. And we pray to Bhagwan to reveal his identity to us. We are striving to understand him, to realize him. So we pray that Bhagwan reveals himself to all of us in our own heart. We will chant a very beautiful stotra, Achyutastakam. This is written by Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya Ji. Achyutastakam. In this, Bhagwan praises not only Bhagwan Shri Krishna, but also Shri Ram. Both are avatar of that Supreme Brahma. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. The Charitra of Krishna is revealed in Srimad Bhagavat and also in Mahabharata. The Charitra of Sri Ram is revealed in Ramayana and also in the Puranas, even in Bhagavat and other Puranas, Sri Ramacharitra is there. And in other Puranas, Krishna Charitra is also there. And in Mahabharata also, Bhagwan Krishna Charitra is there. So let us sing his glories and pray that Krishna blesses us all. So Achyutastakam will sing. So those who have the book or those who know it by heart, you can sing with me. Otherwise you can just listen. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishnadamodaram Vasudevam Harim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje Achyutam Keshavam Satyabha Madhavam Madhavam Sridharam Radhika Radhitam Indira Mandiram Chetasa Sundaram Devaki Nandanam Nandajam Sandadhe Vishnave Jishnave Shankini Chakrine Rukmini Ragini Janaki Janaye Vallavi Vallabhayarchitayatmane Kamsave Dvamsine Vamsine Te Nama Krishna Govinda He Ramanarayana श्रीपते वासुदेवाजित श्रीनिधे अच्युतानंत हे माधवाधोक्षज द्वारका नायक द्रौपदी रक्षक राक्षसक्षोभितः सीतया शोभितो दण्डकारण्यभूपुण्यता कारण लक्ष्मणेनान्वितो वानरैः सेवितो अगस्त्यसम्पूजितो राघव पातु माम् धेनुकारिष्टकानिष्टकृद्वेषिः केशिः कंसवृद्वंशिकावादक पूतना कोपकसूरजाखेलनो बालगोपालक पातु मां सर्वदा विद्युद्योतवत् प्रस्फुरद्वाससं प्रावृढं बोधवत् प्रोल्लसद्विग्रहं वन्यया मालया शोभितोरस्थलं लोहिताङ्घ्रिद्वयं वारिजाक्षं भजे कुञ्चितैकुन्तलैर्भ्राजमानाननं रत्नमौलिं लसत्कुण्डलं गण्डयोः हारकेयूरकं कङ्कणप्रोज्ज्वलं किङ्किणीमञ्जुलं श्यामलं तं भजे अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरिं श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे अच्युतानंत गोविंद माधवा अच्युतानंत गोविंद माधवा सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे बोलिए कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय हरिओम 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 Wish you all a very happy Janmashtami, Krishna Janmashtami. Bhagwan takes birth exactly at 12 o'clock at night. So you can remain awake, meditate on Bhagwan Sri Krishna and invoke him in your own heart. Our heart itself is like a prison. Vasudev and Devaki are there in the prison. So when we invoke Bhagwan, he just presents himself, manifests himself. Vasudev is one who has got a very subtle intellect. Devaki is one who has got a pure, transparent, pure antakkarana, pure heart. So in the pure heart, in the subtle intellect, Bhagwan manifests. And when Bhagwan manifests, all the doors and windows of all this jail, this prison opens up, everything becomes clear. Comes and all Rakshasas are busy sleeping. They are unaware that Bhagwan has manifested. Vasudev puts Bhagwan on a nice tokri, and he carries Bhagwan all the way to Gokul, crossing the river on the way. So Bhagwan is born in our heart, and he comes to on the Gokul. Go are the Indriyas. So Bhagwan, when we meditate, he manifests in our heart, and he comes in our senses, means we are able to see Bhagwan through our senses. He plays in Gokul. He is born in the heart, and he starts playing at the level of the senses. Therefore we call him Govinda, the master of the senses. And this Kamsa keeps on looking for him everywhere. He can't search. He is not available for Kamsa. And finally Kamsa is destroyed, killed. So Gokul and all the gopis, they have that so much of love for Bhagwan Krishna. He plays with them. He has taken a beautiful form. He plays with the gopis. He plays with the gopals. He takes care of the cows. He leads a very simple life, expressing his joy, his kindness towards all. So most fascinating avatar of Bhagwan, Krishna avatar. So Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. So wish you all a very, very happy Janmashtami. May Bhagwan Krishna's blessings be upon you and your family and your friends, relatives, always. May by his blessing you gain all that is good. You become healthy, happy, peaceful, with a long, healthy, good life, fulfilling life. May Krishna's presence be experienced by you always. So Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om. We will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ